Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, I'm Dr. Linda, founder of Skyhi Clinic Malaysia. I'm a certified advanced hormone therapy practitioner by International Hormone Society of Belgium and has been practicing for the past 10 years. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh kepada semua penonton FB Live hari ini. Alhamdulillah, we meet again. Kita berjumpa sekali lagi hari ini, hari Jumaat 4 Jun 2021. Alhamdulillah. Apa khabar anda semua yang menonton? Saya mendoakan kita semua, anda semua berada dalam keadaan super sihat, insya-Allah. Right? Terima kasih sekali lagi those who joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Anda sedang menonton FB Live bersama Dr. Linda. This is a public awareness series setiap Jumaat 11 pagi. Special topic today yang saya pilih adalah gut and immunity, and our invited speakers is ready in the studio actually. Tetapi before that, I would love to share our lined up speakers. This, as I said, this is a series of public awareness, right? So our lined up speakers in June. So saya akan share sedikit apa yang kita akan melakukan sepanjang Jun ini, kerana hari ini, minggu ini ialah minggu pertama kita bermula kick off as minggu pertama sepanjang Jun ini. Itu dia. Kami kongsikan sekali lagi, these are our invited speakers in June. So kita bermula kick off dengan speaker kita pertama hari ini. Sekali lagi saya katakan, speaker jemputan saya yang istimewa, saya akan perkenalkan dan sudah berada ataupun sudah ready di studio kita. Dengan ini saya memperkenalkan sekali lagi, please welcome our speaker, Datuk Dr. Selvam. Right, so kita akan menjemput Datuk Dr. Selvam bersama kita on stage. Hi Datuk, how are you Datuk? Welcome.
Oh Linda, I'm good. How are you?
Good Datuk. Datuk, I would have to say this. I'm happy to be connected. For so long Datuk, we've not been met, alright? So we were for information, Datuk Dr. Selvam is my sifu much earlier before. For your information, sekali lagi, Datuk Dr. Selvam ini, sebelum saya memperkenalkan siapa beliau, I know my followers and Datuk's followers also know him, but I would have to say this. Datuk actually was my first guru in anti-aging, Datuk. How I can say this now?
Thank you very much.
Right,
I'm very
so
pleased.
Yes, I think I know him back in 2009 or 2010 as such. Betul Datuk. So I'm very honoured to have you today on stage. So again, sekali lagi, this is a public series awareness that we love to share to our followers, that how we can improve our life, our better life in terms of going through the difficult days, Datuk. I think you agree. Betul?
Yes, Linda. Difficult days. I believe this may not be just the end. We are always going to be exposed to more viruses, and it's going to keep coming. It all depends on how we prepare ourselves.
MashaAllah, yes, I hear you Datuk. Right, without further ado, we have enough people that joining in, that tuning us. Thank you Miss Sati, thank you Priscilla, thank you Sheila, thank you Pelian, thank you Yusana Rose. Right, so please be with us. I assure you this will be very exciting and knowledgeable sharing from Datuk. Please stay till the end because we have lots of information to share, because we can assure you this is the first ever that we would love to do, that me and Datuk will do this together. All right. So without further ado, let me introduce Datuk before I can pass the mic to him. Datuk Dr. Selvam is a qualified integrative healthcare physician. You know that he's a renowned anti-aging physician in Malaysia. He obtained his MBBS from Madras and FRCOG from London. That's where I knew him, or I met him before, because he is a president of Society of Advances of Hormones and Healthy Aging Medicines Malaysia, better known as SAHAMM. Right, I'm still a member of SAHAMM. I was a committee member of SAHAMM, but I'm still a member of SAHAMM now. I'm proud to say that. Right, he also is a board certified anti-aging physicians from American Academy of Anti-Aging and Regenerative Medicines. Will be very long viewers, but I will have to say this, right? He also obtained he's also certified International Hormone Society from IHS, where we share the same guru, which is Dr. Terry Hertot, which all know he is also known as father of hormones, right? So with then currently, Dr. Datuk Selvam also active interest in treating his patient holistically. That's the keyword. Long before, because this benefit of integrative healthcare were known to many, right? So his passions and he's been introduced this to his personal health and his patients. He knew the importance of integrative healthcare to make the world healthier and happier place to live. Make this better place for you and for me, right? Heal the world. Okay, so his visions and leadership have empowered people to reach their personal and professional goal, my dear. His strong belief in preventive and reverse disease has become a reality for thousands of people. All right. So as I said, it will long introductions for Datuk. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. Yes. Thank you for the topic. We hope this topic will enlighten us more about this immunity, because we have heard this immunity words more frequent than ever now. Am I right, Datuk? Because ever since the pandemic strikes us, Malaysia, and for the whole world, we hear the word immunity frequently, I shall say. Right? So Datuk, please, I don't want to delay any minute. Why do you think the topic is relevant now, and why do you think we choose this topic and the importance of this topic before I throw you more questions, Datuk? Please, Datuk.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Linda, for having me here. It's always a pleasure to share. I've always said this from the very beginning. Knowledge is not mine, it's borrowed. Somebody else taught me, and it's good to share. So coming to the current pandemic, and I'm sure there'll be more epidemics and more pandemics. We have lived through all this before, because we have always lived with viruses, bacteria, fungus, and it is nothing new. But the only difference is there's so many theories about where this virus came from, and the virus is mutating very fast, and is one of the virus that we have seen has mutated so many times, probably more than 300 times already. So this is a big concern, a huge concern. So there are treatment options, and there are different views about all this. But let me say this. Virus can be killed the moment it enters your body if you have a primed up immune system. As long as your immune system is strong and active, viruses don't have a chance to survive and multiply. Only then they cause the problem. Only then you become infective to others. This is transmission. So the first thing that happens when a virus enters your body is the virus will be killed, and so you don't get infected and you don't infect others. Who does this job? It's your immune system. Now, the immune system is not only going to look at COVID virus. Please understand this. Immune system recognizes and whacks the hell out of all viruses, every known and unknown virus. That's the beauty of your immune system. Not only viruses, they will also attack and kill bacteria, fungus, and even cancer cells. So the focus on immune system should be the priority, but unfortunately, most of us, I'm sure, most of y'all have not been told. But what I realize, there is always, it's like two sides of a coin. Nothing is in totality. So not everything about pandemic is bad, because it has created opportunities where people are willing to learn and have better awareness, and people are willing to change their diet and lifestyle. So these are all the plus points. And one plus point that I've realized is there is better awareness about one's health, how to protect oneself and the loved ones.
Masya Allah, Datuk. Yes, such enlightening introductions, Datuk. So this is what we are here today. So stay tuned with us. So again, it may sound easy or it may sound difficult, but we can assure you, just stay with us. Stay tuned. We can share lots more, inshallah. Right. So Datuk, let's go to the first questions. Yes, we know the word immunity is important, but today we want to focus on what is this gut doing to immune system? What is this gut? What is the importance of gut that we know that giving us the immunity, the high immunity, right? The word immunity is the one that we want, but what is it related to gut, right? So the first question, Datuk, why is it gut is called our second brain? Those who may be heard about this or may not be heard about it, we will share or we talk about it in details. Why we say usus, kita selalu fikir usus is a different organ on its own. Brain is an organ on its own, right? So we think separately, right? Hence, we don't have the connection, we don't see the connections. So today, we would love Datuk to, I could not agree with you more, Datuk, when you say gut is our second brain. You have the details. Please help us to enlighten us. Please, Datuk.
Okay. First of all, I would like to emphasize this point. No organ in our body can exist by itself. We are just made of connections. Every organ is connected to every other organ. So no organ can function independently. So when you have a problem, say if the problem is in the heart may not be the problem. The source could be something else. So when Dr. Linda announced about functional medicine, or we call it integrative medicine, there are many names to it.
Yeah.
Basically, what we do is to identify the root cause of the disease and fix the root cause rather than treating the disease with drugs. This is the philosophy. And when you want to fix the root cause, you can only fix it with natural compounds, not with drugs, because drugs do not heal. So when it comes to reversing diseases, or it comes to prevention of diseases and reversing of the diseases, the primary focus should be, or the first focus should be your gut, because that's where almost everything happens. It's not just a system for us to eat and it digests your food and it just absorbs the whatever that body takes from the food. It's not that. The gut is very well connected to the brain. That's why we call sometimes gut feeling, because if something is going to go wrong, where do you get the feeling? In your gut.
The gut sense first,
gut senses first. And then if your mood is not right, you don't digest your food very well. You lose appetite. So this itself emphasizes the fact that there is a strong connection between the gut and the brain. Now, if you manage your gut well, you will have energy, you will have better mood. If your gut is sick, you will be sick from the brain. So it's very important. So why do we say that the gut is your second brain? Is because it is not just a digestive organ. This organ is so brilliantly designed by nature, whereby it can produce some hormones, and there are other compounds called neurotransmitters. These are chemicals that work in your brain. So if you look at the hormones, there is a happy hormone called serotonin. Most of the happy hormone is actually produced in the gut, not in the brain. Okay. Correct. Unfortunately, when somebody has, now low serotonin leads to depression. Okay. So when someone has depression, the common treatment is to give drugs to increase the serotonin level in the brain. But of course, drugs have their side effects. But the holistic way of addressing is to fix the gut. So when the gut heals, you naturally produce more serotonin. So this is a hormone that keeps us happy. This is serotonin. Okay. Then there are other hormones like oxytocin. Oxytocin is what is known as the love or bonding hormone. Like, for example, you see a mother who has just delivered a baby. that bonding is created by the hormone called oxytocin, where there is so much of happiness and pleasure that she doesn't recognize any kind of pain. And nothing else in this world matters to her at that moment in time, not even the husband. So this bonding hormone is called oxytocin. And this
Yeah.
keeps you bonded to things and keeps you happy. As we age, of course, your gut also ages. We lose this hormone oxytocin. This is the
Yeah.
reason why, if you watch children, you just observe them watching cartoon. They
Mm-hmm.
enjoy everything they see and they enjoy everything they do. We lose this as we age and we sit there like a piece of rock and watch. So this lack of interest and bonding is because of a deficiency in oxytocin as we age. So this is the
Wow.
hormone. So similarly, you also have dopamine. Dopamine is another neurotransmitter that actually makes you connected to things with determination. If you are deficient, then of course it can result in many problems, especially people get more involved with criminal activities, more with the or substance abuse. So they have bad behaviors. So dopamine is a hormone that is very, very vital. So again, if your gut is sick, um, so you don't have enough dopamine. So there has been studies where prisoners,
Mm-hmm.
hardcore convicts, were treated by helping to improve the dopamine levels, and you can transform them to better humans.
Mm-hmm.
So, like similarly, there are many other compounds that are produced in the gut. This is the reason why we say gut is your second brain.
Wow, Datuk. So don't play with your gut, right? Because it's already said
Yeah,
that is how. So how
don't play.
important we don't play. You're right. How important we want to make sure our brain is preserved and functioning, and up to the max of its capacity. They will same goes to the gut as well, because I'm sure Datuk, we call it gut brain axis, right? Maybe for doctors
Yes.
who listening to us, we know these connections, the gut brain axis. We elaborate this more in coming slides, inshallah. Yeah, stay tuned. Right, thank you for all who joining us, those who say thank you, and thank you, Datuk, for the great awareness topic on gut health. Yes, please stay tuned with us, stay to the end. Right, so that's mainly the main what Datuk was saying just now. I would summarize it in a way that yes, because the gut's producing many neurotransmitters that important to the body, right? Neurotransmitters like chemicals, because we know as we age, we declining the hormones. This is, we all know, right? As we turn 40, am I right, Datuk? There's a steep drop of hormones in the body, right? So let's learn this, keep learning. Come, let's go. So again, we want to know more. Why do you say that 70% of the immune system exists in the gut, right? So we want to get these connections right, to say what else we got to know. Why is it the main immune system still exists in the gut? Please, Dato.
Okay.
Before
Now,
that, Dato', I'm so
besides,
sorry.
sorry,
Sorry, Dato', before that, please, those who watching us, please leave your questions, because we will entertain your questions about at 11:40 as such. Yeah, please don't worry. Just throw us questions. Throw questions to Dato' Selvam, please. Okay, Dato'. Sorry.
you throw and I'll pick it up. Okay. Um, we gut is not only the second brain, but
Okay.
it is the
Sure.
most important organ for your immune system.
System. Mm-mm.
70% of our immune system exists in the
It's
gut.
in the gut.
So if you have a sick gut, then obviously you will have a sick immune system. And that actually predisposes you to more infections, whether it's virus or bacteria or fungus, more cancers, more allergies, and more autoimmune diseases. So basically, if 70% of your immune system rests in the gut, then the gut has to be healthy. So if the gut needs to be healthy, what you put into your body needs to be a healthy food. So I often say this to my patients. Now, if you want to compare, very simple understanding is this. Just look at orang asli in this country. Okay? They are almost free of all diseases, leave alone worm infestations, things like that.
Sure.
Even in the 80s, 90s, and hundreds, they're still very active. They don't suffer from arthritis, diabetes, chronic degenerative diseases, and cancers, and they don't deliver abnormal babies. I haven't seen, maybe because they don't come, or but at least I have not heard about anyone who has delivered a Down syndrome or other congenital anomaly babies.
Wow.
So basically, the difference should be with what we eat, and what we eat is something that they don't eat. Okay, so what you put into the system is very important. So if you eat the wrong food, or if your food feeds the bad bacteria or fungus that exists in the gut, then the gut health will be destroyed. So it's very important to understand what we should and what we should not eat, and what we should not eat. If you want to enjoy once in a way in small amounts, I suppose it's still okay. So in order to maintain good gut health, first of all, you will have to chew your food well and avoid drinking water when you are eating. So if you
Okay.
have to take supplements, I suggest you chew your food before you swallow. Put one or two of the supplements inside and swallow with the food. That's very easy. Don't have a glass or two of water at the end of the meal and take all your vitamins. So that's because you are going to affect the digestion. Number two, choose the food. Now, one food that destroys your immune system is sugar. Sugar absolutely kills your immune system. The moment your sugar level in the blood rises, for the next 6 to 8 hours, your immune system is very, very weak. So it won't protect you from forming cancer cells or viruses or bacteria that invade your body. So this is a big difference between us and native people. The second difference is they do not eat gluten. That means anything made from flour, like bread, biscuit, and the whole range of gluten products, including oats.
Malaysians' favorite food, Datuk.
Yeah. So if it is your favorite, it wasn't the favorite of your great grandparents. That's why they were healthy.
We
My
agree.
father lived up to 90, and he wouldn't have touched a single supplement or a drug, and he was very well built, full of hair, even at 90. Why?
Congratulations.
Because they did not eat the food that we are eating. So, of course, there is a difference in the air quality, water quality, but food was different. Go back to what we had those days. So this gluten, the why it is so bad is actually gluten has many issues with our health. Almost all diseases can be contributed by or predisposed by taking gluten. So one problem with gluten is that they make holes in your intestine. This, in medical terms, we call leaky gut syndrome.
Leaky gut.
Once you have a leaky gut, okay, undigested proteins get into your body. And when the body recognizes these proteins as not itself, not is some it recognizes as foreign, then your immune system will mount an attack on these proteins. So your immune system is unnecessarily working on something instead of focusing on invading viruses, pathogens, and cancers. Number two, when these proteins are eliminated from circulation, if you have any similar protein in the body, the immune system will attack your own self. This is what is known as autoimmune diseases. So in my practice, every disease I see, every autoimmune disease, almost all conditions, I tell them about diet first. And then comes to dairy products. Now, dairy products, they are highly allergic, and sugar and dairy products aggravate the leaky gut syndrome. So you have three foods which I label them as poisons:
Mm-hmm.
sugar,
Okay.
dairy products. So if you want your gut to be healthy, you have to keep your diet healthy. Okay, that's the first tip I can give you. Number two, in order to connect the immune system to gut to what you eat, if you can eat a low carbohydrate diet,
Sure.
then it would be better. Why? Because carbohydrates are going to be digested into sugar. When you have high sugar levels, your body will respond by producing the hormone called insulin. While insulin is very critical for health, if it is excessive because you eat too much carbs, then it kills your immune system. Actually, high insulin damages any cells, any organ from head to toe. So this is why I routinely check insulin for my patients, not just sugar. Most of you would have been just doing sugar. Checking insulin is very important. So if you don't want a spike in insulin, which destroys your immune system for the next 6 to 8 hours, you should go to low carb diet. So this is the way I advise my patients. Choose the types you can eat. So if you want to eat rice-based or sweet potato or quinoa, and there are some beneficial millets you all can Google. So these are the carbs that we can take if you want to take. So this, the amount should be little or less. So you don't have to, I don't get into the details here, but I tell my patients to keep it simple.
Sure.
Weighing each time for the grams and calories is very tedious, not very practical in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure your plate has 60% vegetables, 20
All
to
right.
30% as proteins from eggs, fish, nuts, avocado, even beans and peas. Though carbs, they are still, you can put it into that category. Always add some good fats, and I prefer virgin coconut oil. Mix it with food and eat, which means the carbohydrate portion can be as little as 10 to 15%. This is a low carb diet, and it is very, very healthy for us, especially those who are aging. Now, if you want to fine tune the health of your gut and your entire system, remember this: body can only heal and regenerate. That means it heals, it regenerates, and it produces immune cells, it produces hormones, it detoxifies everything only when your stomach is resting. So if you keep your eating window to 8 hours a day, say from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., 8 hours, and you
Mm-hmm.
keep the rest of the 16 hours with water, herbal tea, green tea, black coffee, lemon juice, 16 hours of drinking. Now, this is the perfect way of living healthy. Why? Because this 16 hours of resting is the time that heals your gut and repairs the gut of its damages, not only the gut, the entire body. So this is called intermittent fasting. So you can
Fasting.
combine the low carb with intermittent fasting. So this is a good way of keeping your gut healthy, avoiding toxic food, eating healthy, and choose what you can eat. That's why I say what you eat is important, how much you eat is important, when you eat is important.
Wow, Datuk. I think um, everyone was saying that uh, so they show surprises faces here. What I'm trying to say, right? So because it sounds so basic, can I say that? It sounds so, look, I need to do this. We knew this, Datuk. Can I say that?
Yeah.
We knew this, and yet most of the time, sadly to say, as you said, sugar, the white poisons, gluten, and one more is dairy become our staple food. You always
Sadly,
mention this.
Linda,
Yeah.
sadly, you can look at what we feed our children for breakfast.
Please, yeah, we want to discuss
They
this.
are just toxic food. Toxic food. What is there as breakfast cereals? They are just toxic.
Sure.
Instead of eating healthy food with sweet potato, vegetables, eggs, nuts,
Good
and
proteins, yeah.
those things have gone. It's just that you take a bowl and throw some things inside, and on top of that, that's already enriched with gluten. Of course, is there coloring agents, flavorings, taste enhancers, and
Preservative
all that. Plus there's already sugar. On top of that, you throw in another bottle of milk,
milk.
and that
Mm-mm-mm.
becomes breakfast. Or it's
Perfect.
just bread with kaya butter or jam.
Sure.
How can you expect the children to be healthy? And this is the reason why children are very, very often sick. They are sick most of the time. Children should have robust health. They should be like a rock. Um, you know, but we can still change. Now,
Not too late.
if I were to tell you avoid this poison food, it's a big change. But if you can't do 100% of what I say tomorrow, it's okay. Take your time. You may want to change 10% first. It's still good. Then take a
Yeah,
week or two, go to 20%, make gradual changes. Then
changes. Yeah.
it is more practical. You will be out of this craving, because if you make sudden change, some of you won't be able to handle the craving. When the craving comes in, you will be tired, you will be hungry and angry. So it doesn't work. Number two, if you want to switch from a high carb or whatever you say, normal carb, most of the time is very high carb. If you want
Sure.
to switch to a low carb diet, slowly reduce the amount of carbohydrates. So you adapt to the new diet better. Don't rush.
Right. I hear you, Datuk. So the take-home message, please embrace these changes slowly. As long as we do these changes accordingly to the needs and the willpower of the mother or the family at home, but we sure that it can be done. And Datuk did mentions about insulin. For everyone's information, insulin is also a hormone, right? The
Yes.
hormones that produce from our own pancreas, right? Many more, we never do this. We never screen this, right? In general, our medical checkup never includes this screening per se. They only have fasting blood sugar as what Datuk mentioning, right? So again, good to have this test done. Talk to your doctors so that you can know your level and we can make changes fast before it's too late, right? So keep coming the questions, please. What I'm trying to say, we will entertain the questions very soon. Let Datuk finish the main message that we want to share. All right. So basically, we want to keep telling or keep sharing how to boost our immune system, right? Datuk did mentions already. So what else to boost the immune system? That's the mainly practical tips that we can do. In fact, after this talk finish, we can start writing up what our action plan for today. It's never too late again. This is the basic way to increase our immunity. So please, everyone, write up what's your action plan today so that we can have a good outcome, inshallah. So basically, Datuk, so what else we want to boost our immune system? Please.
Okay, before we talk about how to boost your immune system, there is a condition that I need to mention. Now,
Please.
if you look at the general population, majority have these problems. Either they have gastric problem, or they have bloating or reflux, they have eczema, including children who are frequently suffering from the so-called flu. Actually, it's not flu, it's allergic reaction. Now,
Mhm.
this is because of a fungus called candidiasis. This is a heavy topic. We won't be able to discuss this, but let me assure you that there are about 200 to 300 doctors trained by SAHAMM in functional medicine in Malaysia, and like Dr. Linda. So if you are able to connect with these doctors who only talk about, it's easy to identify. If a doctor talks about the root cause of the disease, that means they have been trained in functional medicine.
Understood.
If they talk about natural solutions, they are the ones you should see. Because if you tell them these conditions, most of them will be able to understand where this fungus comes from and how to treat. And it is very important to get rid of this fungus called candida, including children, because when you eat sugar, when you have taken antibiotics, or if you have a lot of stress, if you are hormonally deficient, then of course you can have overgrowth of candida. So this is the common problem. So you need to understand, if you have any one of these problems, seek the right doctor for solutions and in order to heal the gut and improve. Now, coming to how to boost your immune system.
Immunity.
To make it simple, let me put it this way. Think of a vitamin that human body cannot make. Okay,
Okay.
this is the difference between us and animals. Why animals don't get COVID? If anybody has told you the answers, then that is the solution for this pandemic and all pandemics that's going to come, epidemics and pandemics. This is the answer. So why don't animals get COVID? or for that matter, dengue or SARS and Zika and cancers? The simple reason is, actually the truth is, animals can make their own vitamin C in the body. We
Bingo.
human beings have lost this ability.
Yeah.
Now, vitamin C is not going to target only COVID. It's going to target all viruses, including bacteria, fungus, and cancer cells. And this is also a very good antioxidant. And this vitamin C is known as a universal antitoxin. So if you have a snake bite, or if there is enough time, for example, or
Yes.
any metal poisoning, if you immediately infuse them with vitamin C, that it corrects the poisoning. That's how powerful vitamin C is. But then don't ask me why we have lost the ability. Then we have to send a message to the supreme above and ask him for an answer. We haven't found the answer. Possible reason is because our forefathers had their food supplied enough vitamin C, so there was no need for the body to make. So maybe we lost the enzyme.
Sure.
So it is important to understand that vitamin C cannot be made in human body. And then it's very important to understand that eating fruits will never give you enough. Point number 2. Point number 3, please do not rely on FDA's recommendation, the RDA, recommended daily allowance. Now,
Yes.
that recommendation is in milligram and usually is 100 to 150 milligrams. And I'm telling you today that dose just prevents you from dying. It is not enough to keep you healthy. So the dose that we humans have to take is in grams, not milligrams. So how much does an adult need? 6 to 10 grams a day. And if you have ever heard anybody saying too much vitamin C causes kidney stones or any other problems, that is a total lie. It's a myth. There is no evidence to show until today, whereas there are more than 100,000 articles published about the benefits. So this is a vitamin that you have to take if you want to be healthy. Okay. So it's an immune booster. It is an antioxidant. It is also a universal antitoxin, and it can recycle something that I'm going to mention is called glutathione.
Ion.
Okay. So the second molecule that can keep you protected from about 100 types of diseases is a molecule known by the name of glutathione. If you want to search, it is GLUTATHIONE. Okay. Now you can see the word vitamin C
Yeah.
and glutathione. Yeah.
Sure. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Good to hear that.
glutathione is the ancient molecule. Okay, this molecule is known as the master molecule. Why? Because this is the master immune booster, master detoxifier. You know, you are living in a very toxic world. Food is polluted, water is polluted, air is polluted, and we have too much of, wallpapers and paintings, and this is a problem. So this helps you to keep your body clean, but of course, what you produce will not be enough. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
master detoxifier as well as the master antioxidant. Vitamin C and glutathione work hand in hand. The reason
Together.
is each will amplify the effects of the other. Each will help the others to relive again. Once you stop, they activate them again. So this synergy is very important. Now, make it very simple. During evolution, the cells, our cells, from single cell to what we are today, would not have been able to live if nature did not make this glutathione inside the cell. If nature didn't evolve, help us to evolve by synthesizing glutathione in our own cells, we could not have evolved. There would have been no life possible because of the free radicals inside the cells. So glutathione will neutralize and keep the cells, your DNA, your RNA, everything intact and healthy. So this is why it's so important. So this glutathione, every one of your cell makes in the body. If you have
Mm-hmm.
trillions of cells, or every cell will make. The trillions
Mm-hmm.
of cells should make. If the cell doesn't make, it dies. It makes
Mm-hmm.
less, it becomes sick. But why are we deficient now is because the body can only make so much. We
Mm-hmm.
are living in a toxic world, as I mentioned. So the demand is much more than probably what my father needed. So this is another reason why there are so many types of chronic illnesses, allergies, cancers, and autoimmune diseases. So this is molecule number 2.
Number 2.
Now the third one, okay. If you remember 1950s, for those maybe of my age, younger people won't know this, the treatment for tuberculosis in sanatorium was to line them up all in the sun for sunbathing, half
Sure.
naked. This was the treatment. Why? It was because it was recognized that the vitamin D, or whether they knew it's vitamin D or whether it's sunlight, anyway. So that was beneficial. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if vitamin D in 1950 was recognized, what is the problem in recognizing now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can't change the system. We
Mm-hmm.
can't change policies, but we can educate you. This is our primary purpose of doing this.
Sure.
So
Mm-mm.
vitamin D, if you want to make, you cannot make indoors, you can't make while driving. You must be out in the sun, and your skin must be exposed directly, not through the clothes. So if you expose about 50% or 60% of your skin 3 to 4 times a week between 10 a.m. and 12 midday, of course, many of us find it difficult because
Yes.
of our commitments, life commitments, working environments. So are we deficient? I can
We
say
are.
this. I have tested, Linda, about 5,000 patients at least so far. I hardly ever see an optimum range.
Please, Datuk, with your vast experience, you've been seeing pregnant mothers, you've been seeing postnatal women, you know that. That's why Datuk has been sharing. He never seen a single optimum level of vitamin D.
No, I do see, but then it's so uncommon to see
Uncommon.
with so
Mm.
much of sunlight outside because
Okay,
we are living indoors during the day and we live outdoors during the night. How are you going to harness the benefits of the sunlight?
that's it.
So almost all of us are
Yes.
deficient. So it's good if you see again a doctor who has been trained in functional medicine. They know exactly what to do for you, hormones
Sure.
and including vitamin D levels. Now, if supposing that's not possible, if you are
Mm-hmm.
not getting the kind of sun exposure I mentioned, it is still safe to give 2,000 international units to children, 6 to 10,000 international units for adults. And vitamin D is extremely crucial for the
Sure.
first line of defense of your immune system. The immune
Wow.
system has three defenses: first
Yes.
line,
Yeah.
second line,
Mm-hmm.
and something that connects the two. That connection and communication also depends on vitamin D. The
D.
first line is where the your cells, immune cells, will engulf the pathogen or virus as soon as it enters and kills. Heavily depends on vitamin D.
Wow.
So
Datuk.
these
Um,
three are very important. Now,
yes.
you cannot finish talking about immune system if you don't mention about minerals. There are
Correct.
two very
Sure.
important minerals. Of course, there is zinc, but I'm going to talk only about magnesium today
Sure.
because magnesium is so critical for health. As we know, it does more than 800 functions in the body. And almost all of us are deficient because you have to get it from green vegetables grown on fertile soil. So the soil is so deficient everywhere, so that even if you buy organic vegetables, they are better than the normal ones, of course, but they can still be nutrient deficient because the soil is still deficient.
Yes.
So magnesium deficiency is very common. This is the reason why muscle cramps are so common. Hypertension is common, migraine is
Hydrate.
common,
Mm-mm.
anxiety, tension, insomnia, or sleep problems. So there is a host of problems, including premature deliveries related to magnesium deficiency. So why is magnesium important? Because it does so many functions in the body, and this is the mineral that actually activates your vitamin D. So in my opinion, these four are critical. And if you can add in, please add in zinc, or at least keep zinc. If you're taking a multivitamin, I suppose you'll get enough zinc.
Zinc.
But you need to add zinc as well if you have the first sign of a cough or a flu-like symptoms. Then you can add zinc, and functionally trained doctors will be able to adjust the dose to a daily routine dose, which is very different from when you're sick. When you are not well, the dose will change, and dose has to be changed. Yeah.
Wow, Datuk. So I agree with you. Again, we can't agree with you more on these three importance, which is the vitamin C, glutathione again, and vitamin C, glutathione, and another one, magnesium. Sorry, one more
Magnesium.
minerals, which is zinc, right? So important to have this level when we say measured as well, because majority of us, we can say we don't know your vitamin D level, which is your 25 hydroxy vitamin D, right? Talk to your doctors as well that, look, by having, as Datuk said, if you don't know the level, you can safely take the doses mentioned, but good to have monitoring, because when you know your baseline will tell us to maneuver and we can monitor well, right? So sharing my experience as well, Datuk, if I have 100 women who come to see me, let's say if I say 100 only, I don't want to take more. 100 deficiency. When we say deficiency, is not only deficiency, it's optimum. They are not at optimum level, right? So these are the true experience that we're going through for many years, that we can say, right? So with that, Alhamdulillah, Datuk, we have many more to say. Can we entertain few more questions? Few questions, so that Datuk can go back on the slides, whichever that be not being mentioned or in view of time. And for good news, Datuk will be willing to stay with us. We can entertain more questions. Let's become these interactive sessions. Let's entertain questions, please. Team, can we pop up more one questions, please? Datuk, are we okay? We go for the question first. Okay.
And then
Right.
at some point in
Datuk.
time, please also show the participants about the upcoming webinar, Linda, on the
Sure,
12th.
Datuk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've been sharing more about what we have in the lineup for all viewers. But we can say that maybe the first questions, I see questions just now. I saw questions just now that coming in. Can we do this first? Yeah, from SH Lee. Datuk, what are the best sources for us to get protein? Voila. We mentioned already, we need good source of protein. I know it can be very difficult, but Datuk has the answers. Please, Datuk.
I would suggest eggs and fish would be a better choice over meat and chicken. And you can get good amount of protein from avocado, from also some from nuts. It could be a difficult solution for vegetarians and vegans,
Yes.
because basically the problem is we have lost the art of food combination to give us all the essential amino acids that make your protein. So there are still lots of vegetarians who still consume eggs. Eggs is a complete protein. So eggs, fish, avocado, nuts, they can give you enough protein, especially if you are not a vegetarian.
Yes. All right. So I hope answers to Madam S.H. Lee. So from Melissa Sin, what can we eat to regulate our gut health? All right. Datuk did mention, maybe Datuk has a little bit more information to add on, because all those were proteins and all the nutrients and the vitamins that needed for gut health. We were saying already that that's regulate the health. That's healing the gut. All right, the one that we mentioned are those were healing the gut. But what else, Datuk? Maybe you can add on.
The diet, as I mentioned, is very important. You can't keep the system sick by eating wrong food and want to heal the gut. So
Sure.
first, you must change the gut. Diet. Number two, if you recognize any one of the symptoms that I mentioned, if you have gastritis or bloating or reflux, or if a woman has ever had vaginal candidiasis, or if you suffer from eczema or autoimmune disease, the chances of you having the fungus in your gut is very, very high. So you should solve that problem, and doctors like Dr. Linda and others who are trained in functional medicine can help you. Then once you have done this, in order to heal the gut, you can take probiotics.
Great.
Probiotics would be good to help. But in the presence of heavy growth of fungus, you can still take probiotics. You still have to get rid of the candida or the fungus. So that is very important in order to heal. I already mentioned that intermittent fasting, where you rest without food, is very important for healing and rejuvenation. You can do that. And if your blood group is A or B, if you can find organic yogurt, that also will be good. Fermented food. But don't
Mm-hmm.
take fermented food if you have candida. During that
Yeah.
treatment, you take fermented food.
Avoid.
So these are some things that will be very healthy. And basically, you need to eat a food with lots of soluble and insoluble fiber. What gives you that? It's vegetables. This is the reason why I say 60% of what you see on your plate should be vegetables.
Wow. Thank you. I hope answers for Madam Melissa. I think I have one questions from Ajita Krishnan. Please, team, please pop up the questions. She was asking, can I start this IF for diabetics? All right. So I hope you clear about intermittent fasting, Ajita Krishnan, inshallah, and children over 13 years old. That's what the questions says.
Okay. A great way of helping diabetics is this.
Mm-hmm.
There is a diet called keto diet. Keto
Sure.
diet means no carbs. Yeah,
Mm.
but you don't do keto diet for prolonged period of time. What you can do, if you discuss with whoever the diabetic is, if they are willing to change, you should put them on the keto diet for a
Right.
month and a half, and it makes a lot of difference.
All
And
right.
then they can do intermittent fasting with low carb diet that I've mentioned. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I can add this low carb diet. The amount of carbs is only about 10 to 15%. Of course, children can eat more because they are very active. But for those of us who are aging and
Mm-hmm.
those who have a medical problem, especially diabetes and hypertension, including high uric acid, now you should limit the carbohydrate. First, initially, you go down to low carb diet, then you introduce intermittent fasting, then you take away the carb one meal a day. That means you eat carbohydrates only for 2 meals a day. 2 meals. That means you have vegetables, you have protein, fats, whatever that I've mentioned, with carbohydrates for 2 meals, not 3 meals. Now, once you get used to this, if you want to fine tune your health further, definitely you'll improve your lifespan and quality of life. Would be to consume carbs only 1 meal a day. The other 2 meals, you just don't have to eat carbs. This is
Yes.
very important message that you should advise, you can follow. And what about children above the age of 13? Well, it is good if they can, but then schooling children, the timing of the meals can be very different. But
Yes.
those who are very active and healthy, you don't have to do the 16 hours. Even 12 hours is good, provided they also sleep early. Now, the biggest problem with children now is that we are, I don't know whether parents encourage this, or they get hooked to television, they get
Okay.
hooked to computers, they get hooked to their phones. Now,
Mm-hmm.
computers and phones, they emit something called blue light during, especially, it's very, very bad for health during the night because it destroys your sleep hormone called melatonin, and it also destroys the next day morning hormone called cortisol. Now, these hormones are, especially the melatonin, it resets your rhythm inside your body. So children have lost that rhythm. So the body is getting confused between day and night. That's
Mm-hmm.
why sometimes you see a lot of children in the morning, they are aggressive, moody, and irritable. This is hormonal changes. So, in order to have a strong gut, and in order to sum it up, in order to have a strong immune system,
Mm-hmm.
early debate is very important, and reduce as much as possible the use of handphones and computers at night.
Wow. Yes. I think it's a
Very
huge topic
important.
on it.
Now you need to make these changes. At
Yeah.
least observe what your children do.
Yes, Dato', I agree with you. I think this is a huge topic to be discussed about diabetes, metabolic disease, and a lot more towards this insulin resistance, pre-diabetics, and all this obesity and overweight. We can do it in the near future if we have more demand from the viewers, inshallah. Right? So
And
maybe I can.
diabetes, Linda, is
Yes,
the
Dato'.
diabetes is the easiest disease to reverse. Reverse,
Listen
including
to
those
that.
who have been on insulin. Including those who are on insulin, it's
Insulin.
easiest disease to reverse.
Yes. So diabetes is a chronic disease. It's not for life on drugs, what we're trying to say. It can be reversed, yeah, with a good approach and with good knowledge. Right. So maybe from one because we try to focus on the gut health this time round, right? So let's focus on the questions that focusing on the gut and immunity, right? So again, there's one coming up. I know there's more IF questions also about intermittent fasting. Maybe this one would help. All right. I would try to get this. I'm trying to scroll again on the questions, Dato. Okay, this is the one that we can see. Okay, Dato mentioned this, but I think good to mention that from Ashling. I'm a cancer survivor. Cut refined carbs and sugar. That's what she's been doing. My weight can't seems to maintain since then. How can I at least maintain or increase my energy? Right. So she gave her parameters, all right, the height and weight. Right. It can be a huge topic as well, but I think Datuk can help. Please, Datuk.
If you want to increase the weight, I'm not so sure what's your age, Ashling, but then, okay, if you want to increase the weight, it should be an increase in muscle mass. And of
Yes.
course, when you have more muscles, your bones will also increase in its weight. So bone mass will simultaneously increase. But muscle mass is important, not the fat mass. So if you want to increase the muscle mass, then of course you do some weight bearing exercises, increase the intake of protein. If you can find a source of organic whey protein. Organic, that means the cows have
Okay.
not been injected with hormones and they have not been fed with uh, pesticides ridden grass. And so they grass fed, they just what do you call, organic. So
Yeah.
if you find a product like this without flavorings, without sugars and sweeteners and colorings, that whey protein will help, especially if you go for weight training. But remember,
Mm.
the muscle mass depends on the hormone called testosterone. This is a male hormone, but actually it's a misnomer. It shouldn't be just called as a male hormone because females, you have 10% of what we have, but it's absolutely critical for your muscles, for your bones, for your heart health, for your brain health, to prevent diabetes, fractures, and so on and on and on. So if you're underweight, then you should get yourself assessed to see if you have low protein and low muscle mass.
Okay, I think that helpful, Ashling, because she said she's 44 years old, right? You're still young, but again, we hear you as a cancer survivor. I think we think that you're doing good with your food, and because you already cut down, you already have zero down your carbs and sugar. That's what you've been doing good. Thank you, Ashley. Right. So I think we can have one more questions, please. I think from Mr. I think this one. This is a very another good questions. We try to get the gut and immunity questions, but we do take all these questions because we know we are connecting. The body is connecting. We need all the system to work. The body is like orchestra, so we entertain the questions. No worries. Can you elaborate, Datuk, more on the body biological clock? Sorry, especially on the right sleeping habits. All right. How, since Datuk mentions about melatonin, so everyone excites again on the melatonin and the blue light and the biological clock.
Okay, we have an internal clock. This is our biological rhythm, and you can't change. You can only disturb it by making it go anti-clockwise. If it runs clockwise, this is in rhythm with sunrise and sunset. You can't change. So if we want to live within the rhythm, then we should try to wind down after sunset. But of course,
Mm-hmm.
life has changed so much that this is not practical or not possible for most of us. But
Sure.
at least you can stop a lot of these activities early, and the sleeping time would be about 10 o'clock. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because the body, I told you that there are certain conditions with which your body can actually heal and rejuvenate. That means you form new cells, you form antibodies, you detoxify, the body becomes cleaner. All that happens also during a 3 hour window period between 12 midnight and 3 a.m. So you should have your dinner early so that your stomach is empty. So intermittent fasting, you still eat within 8 hour window period, but then the dinner should be by 6 o'clock or 6:30. So that is the first criteria. Sleep early.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number two, you should not eat late dinner or worse still supper. That's why you see Malaysia 24 hours restaurant. You go to certain outlets, drive-in, even 2 a.m. people are eating. So this is all destroying our health.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need sun exposure, and this can be helped by vitamin D3 so that you can make more melatonin. But of course, as you age, like all hormones, melatonin also drops. This is a reason why we don't have poor quality sleep. We are having poor quality sleep. Now, in order to repair and rejuvenate, you need to be in deep sleep. This is done by melatonin. So, if the use of phone and computer is there at night, then it destroys melatonin. So you don't enjoy good sleep, deep sleep. So you lose your chances of repair and rejuvenation. Now the body is in constant usage. So there is always wear and tear, always old cells. How do you think you can keep the body healthy? You need to repair the damages. You need to remove the old and damaged cells and put in new ones, which your body and my body is capable of doing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying we live to eternity, no, but as long as we live, the body is capable of repairing. So, if you want to give the body this condition, then you will have to make sure you have to have early dinner, light dinner possible, sleep early, and so that you are in deep sleep between 12 midnight and 3 a.m. Now, for some reason, if you are not able to sleep or aging people, then you can certainly talk to anyone who knows functional medicine and try melatonin, which is very safe and it is natural. Even pregnant women can take. Okay. Now, melatonin is not just a sleep hormone. Again, it's a misnomer. It is one of the most important immune boosters as well. And is also a very powerful antioxidant, helps you to fight cancer. It helps you to fight hypertension. Anyway, it's very beneficial. So, how do you get melatonin? Make more melatonin. Now, this is a difficult topic, but you must be able to balance your hormones, including your anti-stress hormone or called cortisol in the morning. You
So,
can talk to the doctors and you balance that hormone. That's number one. Number two, you need to have adequate vitamin D3 as a supplement, and you can still go out in the sun. There is another way of increasing melatonin is now the sunlight's benefit is huge, and I'm sure we have not understood. Probably we understand 1%, 2% only. I'm sure it's plenty more. So
mm-hmm.
10 a.m. and 12 midnight is when you make vitamin D, but the early morning sun is when you should be outside, as much skin exposed. So this is called grounding. That means you stand on a patch of grass, walk or stand for about 15 minutes barefooted. That's grounding. So that we know that a lot of these Wi-Fi's and a lot of things, this can be discharged to the ground. This is important. And during this time, if you can just look at the sun, it is mild, very pleasant. It won't hurt your eyes. Now that light touching your eye is important for your secretion of melatonin during the night. So if you do this, you sleep well and you also reset your circadian rhythm, which is very important not only for health and longevity, but extremely critical for the immune system, which we are talking about today.
Wow, I think that's very much so on, as we said, a huge topic on its own, but helpful tips from Datuk. Right? I think we go on. Datuk, are you okay? So since you
Yeah.
mentioned about magnesium, so Madam Rina was asking about magnesium. So which one has better absorptions? She asked, either pill or is it the topical product? I guess they have many more in the market. That's what they're trying to understand. So what do you say, Datuk?
If you have magnesium oil, that is quite well absorbed. When it comes to pill, depends on the manufacturer. If they have a very high standard of manufacturing, I mean good quality manufacturing, it gets absorbed better. And then there are some forms which get absorbed better, like magnesium oxide. The absorption is not so good, whereas citrate, glycinate, malate are better absorbed. So if you have a good quality pill, then I don't think you need to really worry about which is getting absorbed better. But if you have access to magnesium oil, go ahead and use. But the difference between the normal magnesium, if absorption is a concern, then
Mm-hmm.
there is a way around it is to what do you call, have liposomal magnesium. Like for example,
Right.
normal vitamin C is better, is absorbed from good manufacturers, is very well absorbed. But
Mm-hmm.
liposomal vitamin C is much faster. It gets absorbed so fast and so complete, and it stays longer, that even at half the dose or less, you get the same benefit as taking a full dose from even reputable companies. So if you have magnesium as liposomal, then there is so much of absorption, then you need much less dose.
Yeah, I hear you, Datuk. Same goes to vitamin C. We have also liposomal form of vitamin C, right? So that it could better enhance on the absorptions and hence it's reach the cell. Right, Datuk?
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes, yes,
Thank
yes.
you. So,
Can I add something, just because you
please,
mentioned this? I think people need to know.
please.
A very important point for those who are taking vitamin C is this. Okay.
Okay.
Now, in order for vitamin C to enter the cell, it needs a transport. Okay. Now, this transport is shared by vitamin C and glucose. But unfortunately, when glucose or sugar is available in the blood, is in the blood, and vitamin C, glucose gets into the cell first, leaving the vitamin C behind. So
Okay.
even if you take vitamin C, if you are having high blood sugar or you take a lot of high carb diet or sugar, then you will have less vitamin C inside your cell, even if you take a good quality vitamin C. But the benefit of liposomal vitamin C is that it doesn't need a transport. It goes in independently. But that, by that I don't say that you eat a high carb diet or sugar. It is still not
Mm-hmm.
good for health. But liposomal vitamin C has that benefit, where its absorption is not impeded by the presence of glucose. So it's especially very, very important people who are trying to tune up the immune system, and for people like those who have cancer and diabetes with high blood sugar.
Yes. All right. So that's another form of vitamin C, the liposomal. Why is a newer, the latest formulations are better. All right. So wow, overwhelming questions from the viewers, Dato. I guess we almost 10 minutes in the emergency time already for that matter. I think I'll be very happy to say, and they are very thankful to Dato today. Like even there's a demand from one that I mentioned that I saw just now. Please have more series after this. Maybe team can share one more questions, not to say questions, some comments from the floor saying that they want more coming series, Dato. What do you say? Sorry, Dato.
Um,
You didn't
as I
mention
said,
this, did you?
I actually, like Dr. Linda, I started a series of webinars. I call it TAPE.
Yeah, please,
It's the
please do.
expansion for the truth about epidemics and pandemics.
Yeah, we have the
Because it's
posters,
not the
Dato.
virus, it's there's a lot more that you need to know to protect yourself from the current and the future.
Yes.
So we discuss about topics like these, and we have had a few, And the one on the 12th, again, this is free, is on the thyroid hormone. But if you look at the title, this is the master of orchestra. And
Mm-hmm.
this is a hormone that determines your health. Besides all other hormones, they're all important.
All
Your
right.
health from cradle to grave. I know it's not a very kind word to use, but this is a fact. This is how important it is from the time of conception to our last
Okay.
breath. So those who are free, you can click the link and you can register.
Yes, that's what Datuk was trying to say. This is many series of free webinar from Datuk and team to give more knowledge, sharing more information to the public. So this is what if you need more informations, please follow Datuk closely so we have more informations from there. Right? So Datuk, again, thank you so much. We have a good time today. So we have viewers who still keep or stay with us till the almost to the end of the sessions. Thank you again. Thank you everyone for tuning in, for staying till this moment. And I can't say much on the how thankful we are at this point of time. Everyone is willing to learn. That's the most important. And remember, the most important before I send Datuk some summary of this topic, what we're going to say that um, to be in this world changing, that the world is changing fast, what we're trying to say, dunia sudah berubah, right? Hence we cannot say that we cannot change. All right, we knew that we don't have COVID, now we have COVID. We knew that the world is moving fast. Let's become together in this bullet train. Let's jump into this bullet train so that we can come together and support each other, and we know what the best to ourselves and to the family. Right? So I think I would love to give Datuk a few minutes for the summary of the topic. Please, Datuk, so that, and your few words to the viewers that still stay on till the end. Please, Datuk.
Okay, if you look at the pandemic, of course, we have SOPs, we have social distancing, we wear masks, and these are the regulations, and each one of us respect those regulations. But the fact is, cases are still increasing, and unfortunately, you can see the younger age group is getting infected, and they suddenly deteriorate, and some of them even die. And then most countries have experienced either the second wave or third wave. And so my point is this: nothing can escape your immune system. No virus can escape your immune system. Please keep your immune system primed by eating healthy. Sugar is a destroyer of your immune system. Whereas gluten, like all the flour products and oats, they create leaky gut syndrome. And then you have aggravation of that with sugar and dairy products. So you get into an autoimmune state, your immune system dysfunction. So these are things that you need to focus. Number two, you need to optimize your immune function by supplements that I categorize into vitamin C that you don't produce, vitamin D that we can but we don't, glutathione we do but insufficient, and magnesium we are not able to get from our food. So these are some of the critical supplements for a strong immune system. It's not only strong immune system. When you have a combination like this, they help you to stay healthy and prevent a lot of other diseases. So this is important. We also addressed about sleep, which is a problem for a huge health concern, because young children, youngsters, adolescents are destroying their health by staying up late at night and getting hooked to computers and phones. Exercise is very important. Sun exposure is important. Grounding, sun gazing is important. But of course, when I see patients like Dr. Linda and others in functional medicine, we do a lot more. We address about the body being acidic and alkaline. We address your detoxification, immune system, antioxidant system. And we definitely do a lot of hormonal balancing using natural hormones. But for those who have listened to this subject today, at least I hope you have understood how to prime your immune system. Now, this detects and kills all viruses. That's as simple as to say. And I wish you all have a happy and blessed life. Thank you.
Yes, Datuk. Thank you. Thank you so much again. Thank you for being here today, this Datuk. For this time round, we managed to hit 1 hour and 15 minutes for today's discussion. Again, as ancient Greek quote that Hippocrates that says, all diseases begin in the gut. Right? So again, all diseases begin in the gut. Hence, we know what to do after listening to this topic or these sessions just now. Thank you again, Datuk. Thank you for having us today, Datuk.
Thank you.
All the best, everyone. So we hope that we can see everyone again, because I do continue with my, for your information, Datuk, for our sharing next week. Can you, team, just show that again? We still continue the theme of immune system, to build the immune system for all of us. But this one special to women and dry eyes. But remember, dry eyes also do related to some immunity or other abnormal hormones that we will share also next week. Right? Please stay tuned on Sunday, right? It's usually on Friday, but this time round we the speakers requesting for Sunday, inshallah. Yeah, just have a date locked for that. All right, with that, thank you so much again. We have a good session today, Alhamdulillah. So I can't thank you more, Datuk.
No problem. That's my pleasure.
Alright. Again, thank you for everyone again. With that, saya dengan ini sudahi dengan wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Bismillah. Dengan itu saya sudahi dengan wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you again. Bye everyone.
Bye. Namaskar.
Stay safe everyone.